Thank you for guys for tuning in. Get started just a second, guys. I'm about to go over what I'm looking at. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get started on SPY. Just like an overview of the overall market. Let me know if you can see this okay. So yesterday, I kind of told you guys about like coming into this week, we ended up kind of retesting this trend line. I'm gonna zoom out so you can see it a little bit better. The S&P 500, we were in this channel before, but we ended up like breaking out of it a few weeks back. We were kind of retesting this trend line, trying to break back in, but you saw that we started having this rejection to have a further breakdown. So now today, we're kind of doing it today. It seems like the market is up slightly, but I'm not convinced. And if we do continue to rally a little bit, I can see it just building up to about this, around this 520, 525 area. But I think it's just a small like relief rally that we're having right now. So I'm going to kind of break that down and see what's going on with that. One second. Thank you guys for tuning in. All right. So let's go down to the 4-hour time frame. It's usually what I use as my triggers before I like enter into a trade. So when I go down to a 4-hour time frame, I trade a method using this strat. It was created by Rob Smith, and it's basically just saying like the strategy, basically like, focus on price action. This basically takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. You're looking at what direction and like what volume that these candles are moving in. All right. So we have a 1, which is just an inside move, which means it's just consolidation. 2 is actually a directional move, and that could be up or down. So this shows you the direction. Of course, red is down, green is up. You have a 3, that's an outside move, and that shows you if it shows you that you break out the high or the low of the previous candle. So right here, we finished off yesterday we finished off with a 2-2, but it really even triggered. So basically, like 2 candles that's leading down. But right now, we're kind of head up to testing this 519, 520 area, which is going to be interesting because if we end up breaking this downturn, at least in the short term, we'll kind of see it like hold above 520. That's really what we need to see before we try to make any moves higher. Because if we don't break above 520, we're just going to continue back down and then retesting below around 510. 1 second. So I'm going to go down to 30-minute time frame. When I get down here, I'm just going to turn on the extended hour so you can kind of get a better look at it. This is showing us kind of what's going on in pre-market, and here, make it bigger. So you see, we kind of bounce off this area. What is around 508, and we kind of have a little bit of momentum gaining right here, but it's nothing really too strong. Usually in a day, you will see that like 1% would be typically be a good move, but in this situation, where the market's been so volatile, like this 1% move can definitely get destroyed either way. So we're here testing this 508. And then in pre-market, we're at 519. Oh no, this is 519. But if we don't break above this 520, there's going to be a rejection. We already see that my indicators already kind of show a rejection side around 521.71. a significant area for support. And then after that, we'll end up having to go to like 524. This is around like 525. That'd be the next area to target after that if we get above 520. And then there's a small gap fill that leads up to 526. That's really what we're looking for. We're looking for momentum, like a momentum play, because I don't see this necessarily sustaining. But you know, the market could be tired of just getting beat down, so that could usually end up happening. Now we're gonna take a look at. There's one play I've been liking a lot. I don't know if you guys have been seeing this, but Bitcoin has actually been holding up pretty well during all of this, honestly. So you're almost like 89,500. If you like take a look at the chart, like Bitcoin has been consolidating, but it hasn't really like broken down at all throughout all this. And it shows that there's been more crypto friendly regulations that's been coming out, but there hasn't really been any there's also there's been crypto friendly regulations coming out, but there's also been the fact that people have been turning to crypto almost as a store of value. You know, people always kind of relate it to gold, and we're starting to see that people actually are doing this in this time of volatility, because throughout the time the SPY has been falling, we just kind of holding steady. And so now we have this somewhat like a bit bullish reversal going on. We're touching almost about touch 90K. What I've been looking for Bitcoin is I really would like it to see it. Here's on the weekly. I really would like to see it reclaim like 92 to 95,000. If we get to do that, then we're gonna kind of be off to the races with that. Yeah, it's about 95K. This is on the monthly chart, but we can end up touching this in a few days, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and set a trigger for this area. This is about 94,800. It's just to let you know when this does happen. But as I'm following this, I'm tracking plays that actually track Bitcoin, since I don't have to like trade it directly, but just trade the stock that follows it. And some of the plays that do that is like MSTR's MicroStrategy and Coinbase. They're a lot cheaper. Sorry guys, I'm tongue tied. And so I'm gonna show you how they kind of move exactly the same. I'm start off with Coinbase. Guys, let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to go over any of these stocks or crypto. Here, you can see in this chart, I mark it as it being in a downtrend, of course. This is on the daily time frame. It's just so I can visualize it. I'm not sure you need this, but despite being in a downtrend, you saw we came around this area. It came around like this 145 area and started to consolidate, and I just built, as you see, built up a little support right here. And now we're seeing we're like building up, and we're about to test this like it's about 180. It's like 170, 178, getting up to 180, and that's really what's gonna be a strong level for Coinbase. So I would like to see for Coinbase, I'm gonna go back to my regular trading hours. It's already triggered the upside, on Coinbase for today. And this is basically what we kind of do with this market, since we a lot of times have been, since a lot of times that we've had to just the market has been like gapping up or gapping down. A lot of times we have to wait until the first 15 minutes to get done, like the first 15-minute candle to close, and then mark the high low or that, and that's when you decide to get in. Like if it breaks the high of that 15-minute candle, that's when you trigger in for like calls, or you're going long on the stock, right? Like you're bullish on it. If it breaks below that 15-minute candle, that's when you trigger puts or go short on the stock. Oftentimes I really look at the 4-hour time frame for overall trend, but since we have this so much volatility, I usually wait the first 15 minutes and then wait to see what that break looks like. So can I get a better understanding of that? You can zoom in right here. Let's see. So focus here. Right here, this is the last 15-minute candle that we had before. This is about like 175.71. So I will mark out this high for this. I'll send an alert to basically let me know if this happened, if this like triggered essentially. And then on the same side, I'll mark out the low of this candle. It's like the bottom right here. It's around like 174.59. I'm just doing this as an example. So this is what I do in the morning times. I let the first 15 minutes play out, and then I mark out those high and the low for that. And then you see you have these two lines now. And so whenever I break below it, then it'll trigger me to like trigger me to enter puts if I break below this. And then it'll trigger me to enter calls if I enter above this. And what I do for my price targets, I look at the previous, if I'm doing a call, I look at my previous high. So for this one, I'll target like this next candle right here. And then if it breaks above that, I'll target the next candle right here. This just gives me price points to where I can get out at if I do start to see some type of shakiness happening. You always want to have a plan of how you're going to exit, just in case things start to turn around, especially in this market. That could be any second. But overall, I feel like Bitcoin has been building up, and it's looking like a larger move is getting ready to push it. So I could definitely see Coinbase moving. Let me pull it on my other charts. I can get a better view of it. Yeah, I definitely see Coinbase going to touch like that. Of course, like the 180, but then 185, and then the next like major resistance level for Coinbase would be around like 195, around like 193 really. But let me look at the ATR. Coinbase has about $7 ATR. So yeah, we can end up, honestly, if we get enough momentum today, we can end up pushing to like the 185 today. It wouldn't really be too far of a stretch because Bitcoin is really just gaining some momentum, and I really feel like just based off what we've seen so far, if we get any resemblance of good news, Bitcoin I believe is going to front run the stock market essentially. Like it's already kind of gaining momentum now, and I always like to remember that the stock market, we like to look at least 6 months out. That's what it reacts to. It's not always news that's going to happen just today or tomorrow. It's looking at 6 months out, like what's going to happen. And this may not be now. Of course, we're still like in bearish territory, but if we are going to have some type of turnaround, some type of run, you definitely look for that to be Bitcoin to kind of be the signal for that. Another one I'll look at is Tesla. They actually ended up reporting earnings today after the bell. That's going to be interesting. And with Tesla, being really beat down, honestly. Tesla's been getting beat to crap. The thing about Tesla, though, is that everybody knows the earnings are going to be bad. No one's expecting Tesla's earnings to be good at all, especially they're having more competition now in China. And then plus, people don't have the money to be buying Teslas like that right now. They're being real. And then, of course, everything that's going on with the tariffs. The thing that can make Tesla run, despite what people are expecting from these earnings, is if the earnings aren't as bad as expected. And so what that's going to look like is people are going to be looking at the profit margins. They're going to be looking at how many deliveries occurred. What are things looking like in China? They want to look at their outlook. And then another thing people are looking at is when Elon Musk is stepping down from Doge. He's already kind of mentioned, there's already been some insight about like he want to step down from Doge and focus on the company. You've seen like of course the protests, the politics behind it, and Tesla investors do not like that. They want to stay out the politics and just stick to making a great company. So that's what we want to see. So he's expected to have like a specific date on the earnings call, like after it comes out, and give a specific date when he's gonna come out. If it comes out sooner, like he's stepping down sooner and getting out of those, I feel like this could really rally. Aside from that, if the profit margins aren't like, I mean, honestly, beats a crap like they expect, then we really could see Tesla move. Like they're expecting like a 9% move. And it just opened up. Here, who's triggered? So we see him. This market just opened up. We got about first 15 minutes, see what's going on. We do have some gap fills right here up to about 240. Let me see if this little upside sustains. As of now, it looks like it's kind of figuring out what it wants to do. I'm just let things play out. I don't believe in rushing into anything right now. But yeah, guys, let me know if you want me to go over any stocks or any trades. I'm happy to break that down. I trade all markets, but I mainly trade options. I use like options contracts. Tesla looks like it wants to run. Totally surprised by it. Rallies a little bit going into earnings. I'm gonna go ahead and mark up this low at 230. I see decent support for Tesla. See if it keeps pushing past that. Let me see how it reacts around 235. Let me just mark that out. That's not a high yet, but I'm just see what it wants to do there. Just so I know. That's why I like to do all I just said, like alerts, just so I can kind of look around as well and not miss out. Here, I'm checking out NVIDIA. Previously, I played push to it over the weekend, and it was actually played out to be pretty well paid, bro. Can't talk. But looks like it had this gap up a little bit, but it's kind of coming back inside. Looks like you might want to fill this gap down to about 97.25 before it does anything else, which I expect from it. I really like to see this come back down. NVIDIA is basically, they're a semiconductor stock there. I mean, they like the semiconductor stock. They pretty much lead the whole market share. They've gotten beat down, especially what's been going on between the trade tensions with China and the U.S. But this is a good long-term play. So even though I'm trading this, it's definitely something I'll add to my long-term portfolio a little bit at a time. It's not financial advice. I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing. So yeah, definitely coming back inside. Only about 3 minutes in. I'm gonna check out MSTR. That's one I really like right there. Yeah, that's how I expect. And it already gapped up towards 330. 330 was one of the triggers I had for MSTR. Just because that's like a psychological level for the stock. Even though this stock trades along with Bitcoin, but it looks like it popped up, but it's pushing a little rejection right here. Let me see where Bitcoin is projecting at. If you want to get an idea like how it's always going to move, look at Bitcoin first, and then look at the stock that's trading. Bitcoin, of course, moves first, and then it basically reacts reacts to that. So Bitcoin like is still like creating a base, like it's getting ready to break 90K. So yeah, I really like MSCR. I think I got an MSCR 330 calls for this week, and I 330, 340, and 360 I want to say, and 370 calls. Yeah, definitely MSCR. I could definitely run this week. MSCR is kind of expensive though. So if you want something cheaper, I'll say look at Coinbase. So yeah, Coinbase already took off, but they pretty much move the same. But their contracts are a lot cheaper. Coinbase, its ticker is COIN. It's coin. Just because I'm gonna tell you guys that. Yeah, Coinbase already spreading. Let's see how it does with this 185 level. It's like 184, 185. Let me set a trigger. It's like 184. See what it does there. Let me check out Apple. Apple's moving. I don't love this chart as much. Let me see. So yeah, Apple gapped up a little bit. It's about to go test like 198. See what it does there before it doesn't try anything else. We got a few more minutes. See how this plays out. Getting alert on coin. Yeah, the coin is just pushing. Yeah, I think it's not stopping. The thing about it though, even though something takes off like this and it breaks out of your price, do not chase. You want to sell into strength and like, but you want to buy when it's have some sort of pullback. Right now, we have not seen any type of pullback or whatever. Like if you miss your entry, do not chase. There's always gonna be another stock. There's always gonna be another entry. Do not force it. Amazon got done like crazy too. Pull that one up. Yeah, Amazon going for the gusto. It's in the middle of this gap fill. I don't really see any resistance to about, well, there's 170 area and then about 172. Oh shit. Sorry. Yeah, Missy Yard is going crazy. Got a real breakout right there. Yeah, this is out on the weekly. Yeah, once we reclaim this 340 level, it easily pushes to like 360 and above to reclaim 400. I could definitely see that happening pretty soon. This that was if we maintain strength. I'm getting right on Tesla. view right now. I entered in some QQQ calls. Some 440 0 day. Just let that run. Like Bitcoin is rejecting some at 90K. That could end up proving to be like an entry point for MSTR. Bonusy how much of rejection that's gonna be. If we lose 90K, I'm really looking for this thing to kind of turn around. But we'll see. We still got to let it play out. See, now you're starting to see it reflect on MSTR. Bitcoin like it's still holding 90K right now, but it's definitely fighting for that position. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions or anything. Check out LOY. This is Lily. I'm gonna put me onto this. This is a healthcare stock. Yeah, like they're in the reversal. Yesterday they pulled back and touched was about like 808. So they're in a reversal. This is like a 222 reversal. So basically they came down 2 days, bounced off this. You guys can see this wick, like this wick off area, and now it's pushing back upward. It's about at 8:30 right now. The next target will be around 8:43, right? 8:43, 8:45. Let's have some room to go. Let's see. I'm gonna check out those contracts. you guys want the first deals in like more in detail, trades, you can join my Discord. It's free. I give a lot of breakdowns in there. We also hit up things on the sports betting side. I've actually doing like about 15 and 2 over the weekend on my bets. It's all kind of the same game, like sports betting and trading. It's all about risk management and not over trading, not over betting. So definitely check that out. Click the link in my bio. It'll send you to my YouTube page, but I have the Discord on that. Or you can just DM me, whichever one, or just comment on a post of mine, and I'll send you the direct link to it. There's no gimmicks. You just get into a good chat. People are trying to build together and teaching each other. So, and I'll have a lot of free educational content in there. This is SPY. This is what I was telling you guys about, like that 520 area. See, it came up into this area and it's pushing a little bit, but you see it's kind of like, it's rejecting a little bit right now. It's kind of, it needs to decide if it's going to break this 520 area or not. That's going to be big in deciding like what's going to happen moving forward. Like QQQ, I'm sure QQQ is probably doing the same thing. Yeah, same situation here. We got to this 440 area, try to break above 441, seeing some resistance. So that's gonna be a real indicator to see what's going on. Once we break this 441, it's gonna probably target like 442, 442.50 after that. But it's gonna be real interesting to see what we do there. You see everything kind of like just popped and just pushed out, and then now it's in like this little slowdown mark. And it's gonna show we're actually gonna be moving like with trend and with momentum the rest of the day, or at least for this first 4-hour time frame, or it's actually gonna be a reversal. But it's looking like we're holding steady right now. The volume's there. So I'm not too worried about it, but it's definitely like a pop and like it can end up being a pop and fade, but we're just gonna see how it plays out. We're about to be at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, and it's gonna kind of give you an idea of what's gonna happen next. Yeah, definitely stay tuned. I go live several times a week, and I kind of go break down all these trades and keep up with like market news that's happening as well. Excuse me. Sorry. Oh goodness. Sorry. Allergies. I don't know if you guys seen the biggest news that's kind of been going on right now is about whether Trump is going to fire Jerome Powell, because he wants Jerome Powell to go ahead and cut rates, but right now the Fed is showing no interest in doing so, even though like all the turbulence has been happening. They're basically like the economy can't withstand it, So they really want to get inflation down. But that's why people have even theorized that Trump is like trying to crash these markets on purpose to go ahead and trigger him to to lower rates, just to kind of do like some quantitative easing in a sense, and the market will rally heavily after that. But we'll see. It's a lot of political gesturing going on. We don't really pick sides, whatever like that. We just trade what we see. And pay attention to the news that affects what's going on. But yeah, as long as it's holding this 440 low so far. Let me see. Go down to the 5-minute time frame. Yeah, it looks like Bitcoin also is pulling back from this 90K level. Like it's gonna go to test 89. 700, 715. Let's see. But yeah, I like that QQQ somewhat holding up right now. I really need to see this break above this 441 level to really know that this is going to continue throughout the day. Things moving really slow right now. You can check out the VIX. The VIX is basically the volatility. Also, it's basically the fear index. VIX shows you how much fear is going on in the market right now. So it's down about 7%. Looks like it's pulling back some more. So usually when you see the VIX run higher, you see the market pull back. When you see the VIX pull back, you usually see the market rally. Sometimes you do have it where it's weird, where the VIX can be like floating up and the VIX can be going up and the market can be kind of like creeping. But that's usually just showing that it's like a bigger move is about to happen with that. So yeah, this is pulling back a little bit. If this continues to pull back, especially like below 30, the market's going to continue to rally. But yeah, guys, I think I might get off for a little bit, take a break. We'll be back tomorrow and do some more breakdowns. Let me know if you want me to do any like live trades in the evening sessions and things like that. Just comment on any one of my videos or DM me, anything like that. Also, just subscribe, follow me. I get on live pretty often. I'd be happy to break down anything and answer any questions you guys have. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Holla at you later. Peace.